Case study is the use of XR for supportive construction and site teams. And we have the Vice President of Project Delivery from Wood, Keven Ware.
Well, thank you and good afternoon, everybody. Today we're going to discuss XR, or both virtual reality and augmented reality use in the project world. So I know the people here from a lot of different backgrounds and industries, and you may not know who Wood is. So I'm going to take a few minutes to give you an understanding of who we are, what we do, and the perspective that we're looking at this from. And then we'll dig into our uses of virtual reality, augmented reality, and then the connected worker on site. So, who are we at Wood? We are one of the world's leading consulting and engineering companies. We work in two spaces, energy and materials. In the energy space, it's both energy security as well as energy transition. So that is upstream, midstream, downstream, oil and gas, as well as the hydrogen space and carbon capture. Materials, it is mining and chemicals, and then pharmaceuticals and the across both of these energy and materials, we have cross-cutting drivers, which are decarbonization and digitalization. So this is where we are. You can see on the map there, 60 plus countries with more than 35,000 very brilliant, diversified people. And what do we do? So we are organized across 3 business units: consulting, projects, and operations. In the consulting space, we're working within the entire life cycle of a facility or asset. In projects, that would be either greenfield, so brand new builds, or brownfield, which would be working in an existing facility or on an existing asset. And that is all the way from conceptual studies through front-end engineering to detailed design and construction. In the operations space, we are maintaining those facilities or assets, so maintenance crews, as well as in some cases we're actually operating them on behalf of the client. So let's dig in. Virtual reality. Many of our projects, we're producing 3D models. Those 3D models are tied to or linked to our schedule. And this is a detailed engineering, procurement, construction schedule. Within the model, we've got attributes that are tying each individual component, whether it's civil, structural, mechanical, electrical instrumentation, whatever, into construction work areas, or CWAs, and then down to construction work packages, or CWPs. So what that does for us is it gives us an interactive look at what the build sequence is, or our path of construction. I'm going to take a minute and show you a little video of one of these virtual spaces and one of our project team members walking through it. You can see the guy in the corner is in the office, and he's trying to figure out how to use this technology a little bit. So you can see he's querying items, tells him everything of what they are, how they fit in the sequence. And now he's taking measurements. So what this does for us, it gives us a great collaborative experience. It helps us with our different discipline engineers collaborating. It helps us with class reviews. It gives us a good virtual platform for constructability reviews before we move to the field. You can see there he's almost walked into the wall. So it's a truly immersive environment. And we even use this, especially for the facilities or assets that we're being asked to operate. We'll use it for operator training. And in some cases, we're passing it on to our clients who are using it for operator training. If you can imagine, the operator, before the facility's built, gets to walk around in that facility or on that asset virtually and gets to see what it's going to be like. They get to go through different work tasks, walk around and see the equipment and feel what that environment is like, and even look for escape routes in the event of an emergency and get to plan how that's going to look. Okay, so augmented reality. This is one of my favorite spaces. So at Wood, we're using HoloLens. And when we're on site, our site teams can walk around and they can see where they are in reference to what has been built and what the next task is, or the next work package, the next phase of that installation. You can see on the top picture, that is the entire facility, separated by colors. So in this case, blue structural, gray is mechanical, yellow is I&E. And on the bottom picture is inside a building in that same facility while it's being built. And you can see the structure of the building that's been built and the augmented reality of what that next work package is, the ductwork above it. So this gives us benefits in a lot of different ways, right? Not only can we see what is next, what's coming from a construction standpoint, but it also gives us a platform to do stakeholder engagements and show our clients and our own internal stakeholders where we are in the project, what's going on, how we're progressing. It also gives us a platform for safety improvements. So we'll get our safety team sometimes watching these or walking around, the guys that are walking around on site, and the safety team is watching an activity or thinking about what the next activity is and helping give feedback for maybe a better or safer way to to take on that task. Okay, so diving into connected worker. These are, in most cases, we're thinking about a smart wearable headset when we think about connected worker in a construction site. At Wood, we've been on this journey now for about 6 years. We realized that one of our largest challenges in construction was having the frontline worker engaged with all the materials and knowledge that they needed to be able to perform their task. And we need to improve time on tools. Time on tools is when that worker is physically has their hands on the tools and they're working. Anytime they stop to ask questions, they're killing productivity. They're killing progress. So getting them the information they need at the time they need it so that they can continue to be effective is what drove us on this connected worker journey. And you can see all the different headsets. That's like what most people think about when they think about connected worker. And we're using it everything from getting safety experts on site or their knowledge on site to doing safety inspections. We're using it, as I said, for stakeholder engagements, for progress, showing progress. And we even have some of our teams that are using it in reference to having a vendor or an SME from one of the suppliers on site, whether that is FATs or calibration or installation of their equipment. And some of our maintenance teams are using this technology where they're walking around with a thermal camera, kind of like the guy that's in the picture there. And they're improving their ability to do inspections. So he's got a thermal camera, we've got rotating equipment or maybe a really important asset, and just walking by, and as they're doing their inspections, they're taking pictures. Then later they're back in the office and they're comparing those pictures against pictures from previous inspections, and they can see what's changing within the asset. Are bearings beginning to warm up? Are heat loss coming through insulation? Whatever, which is improving our ability to maintain the facilities and assets safely and keep the preventative maintenance ongoing so that those assets or those facilities don't have any failures. You can see all the things I've got listed up there that we've used them for. And I recognize that the value that Wood has seen in it, we have deployed this technology in almost every country, in almost every end market that we work in. That's the value that we've seen in it. There's a conversation going on up here a few minutes ago about the use and deployment of the technology and the cost and the benefits. The benefits are there. Wood, we believe in what this technology does for assisting our people, both our engineers in the office as well as our construction teams in the field. So I think I have time for a few questions. I know I ran through that fast. I noticed I started late, so I tried to rush.
We do have time for questions, if any questions.
Products are you using to do your engineering that's allowing you to go into all lines?
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing him.
Yeah, let's use the mic. That's what it's for. My fault.
I've been at a conference all weekend too, so my voice is already shot. So, what CAD systems and what PDMS system are you using for your CAD engineering that's allowing you to then go to HoloLens or connected devices?
Yeah, so we're actually in different different regions around the world. We're using different modeling systems. One of the real challenges to turn it into the augmented reality part is making sure that all the coordinates are there. Obviously, it would be kind of disastrous if you walked up there and you're looking at something and the next phase of what you're looking at is, 50 feet away over there. So that is the biggest challenge, is the coordinates in the model. If there's not, there were a few that came in on the app. I'll cover those real quick. Okay, so how are you avoiding potential safety concerns being on an active construction site with always dynamic changing conditions? So that's a very good point. But using the HoloLens, you can see through it. It's not like you're walking around with a VR headset that you can't see in front of you, like the guy that was in our video that almost walked into the wall and got the alert. So that's why we're using the HoloLens. But we also don't have those people walking around by themselves. So part of their team's there with them.
I can ask the next one.
Okay.
Have you used this for training purposes as well?
So that's interesting. It is a bucket list of ours, or mine specifically. We have not used it for any training purposes yet, but we are piloting a training program. And other than using it for operator training, just in a virtual space, but we are piloting using it in an augmented space for operator training. So essentially, having an experienced operator go out there, perform a task, record that task, talk through what they're doing, and then the trainee can then put the headset on, walk up to that same asset or same piece of equipment and gets a checklist up here in their peripheral view about what to do, and click play, a video comes up, shows the first task, they perform that task, and then they click yes in the checklist, and then another video comes up for the second one. But we don't have that live yet.
Actually, just got another one in real time.
Okay.
How are you dealing with ambient temperatures and issues with devices overheating?
Okay, so very good question. As you can see where we work, we do have some pretty hot environments. And to be honest, so at my level, nobody's came to me saying that they can't continue to use that technology. So I'm going to have to go find out an answer to that one. If it is really eliminating our ability to use it.
I think we got time for one more. If there's anyone else in the crowd, there's a couple more coming in on the app too, so I'll give the audience. Okay. Any use of VR or AR during design within Wood? Sorry.
So, yes, VR. I mean, we just showed that. We use VR in design a lot.
Unless there's any other questions, let me give Kevin a round of applause.